When we founded it back in 1997, there was a need for it because if people thought of Filipino workers, they mostly just thought of overseas workers or of, the farm workers in the past. And so we needed to really lift up and build visibility for who our communities are, who working Filipinos are now, and help support them in a fight for really building the dignity of Filipino workers and the work that they do here in the United States. Filipino Workers the idea started back in 1995 and was officially founded in 1997. The original founding board of directors included Rita Burgos, Jay Mendoza, Faith Santilla, Jolene Evangelista, Paul Estuar, and myself, as well as John DeLoro. Then we gained the knowledge and guidance from Filipino activists like Lolita Liedo and Salvador Dong Liedo, and we really started fully volunteer. It was a fully volunteer organization at that time. We were inspired both by the legacy of the Filipino Manong, who has built a labor organizing legacy here, including Larry Itliong, Philip Veracruz, Pete Velasco, and the organizing that they did with Filipino farm workers and cannery workers. Well, there were a lot of challenges in starting Pilipino Workers Center. We did not have a lot of resources, and we didn't have that much of a foundation in terms of how to organize Filipino workers here in the United States. But we had a lot of passion. So when we began Filipino Workers Center, we were really thinking about focusing on workers in lower wage industries where we knew there were a lot more abuses, a lot more exploitation, and a lot of need to build worker power to improve conditions. Through the work that we started to do, engaging in organizing, bringing services, and building relationships with different workers, we're able to discover that there were many Filipinos working in the warehouses. There were a lot of Filipinos who were parking attendants across Los Angeles, but also that there were a lot of Filipino home care workers or caregivers. So what we did was we started to bring services that we knew would be helpful and supportive to the community. So like TB testing to the restaurants and to the grocery stores. And from there, got invited to many parties and started to get to know a lot of the community, find apartment buildings that had concentrations of Filipino workers. And then we started bringing food distribution on a regular basis. And this helped us to really establish a reputation, and it allowed us to knock on all the doors in those apartment buildings, and everyone would open their doors to us because we'd say, "Oh, Filipino Workers Center po kami." Some of the wins that we had in those early days were really about how we were able to successfully connect to workers who became members of PWC. We were able to build membership where we launched with over 100 members in 2002. And at that time, our membership was called Association of Filipino Workers. Also, one of our wins was the formation of coalitions like the California Domestic Worker Coalition. And then we also had some great success with some programs that we had, like PW Productions. PW Productions was a youth media program that we had together with Public Matters, who really helped to build this program for local Filipino youth. So they did video interviews, they captured it, and that became our historic Filipino town jeepney tours, something that helps to deepen our own understanding and appreciation of Filipino American history, as well as Filipino labor organizing. Some of the successes early on were not necessarily wins, but they were important working campaigns that we took on that gave us a lot of lessons.